You just... All right, folks, welcome back. We have heard that taking supplements is good for our health, but are there specific ones that we should focus on taking for each age and stage of life? And based on a story you told me this morning, are there some that we can OD on? We shouldn't be taking too much of. Registered dietitian and nutritionist, Dr. Christine Frey-Aiken, is going to break it down for us. Good morning, Doc. Thank you for being here. So Neville told us a story this morning about a friend of his who OD'd on vitamin C. And had a negative, had too much negative reaction, which tells you that you can't, even with vitamins.
Even water-soluble vitamins, because that's supposed to come out of your system. That means he took tablets. Could not be food.
The tablets.
And that's the thing, that anytime we are suggesting supplementation, we're really talking about fruits and vegetables. That's how we see it, because for us, the food is the medicine. But taking... I mean, I'm not saying that taking it by tablets isn't good. It's just that you need to have the need for it and then take it within the recommendation.
But that's a very, very interesting point that you make, because sometimes when we think supplements and vitamins, we think of popping a pill, but it's the food.
Right. For us, food is the medicine.
Okay.
Right.
So we really should be eating foods that are rich in the vitamin as opposed to taking the...
Right.
But don't
unless it necessarily...
But don't you have, like, I don't know if this makes sense, but natural tablets type of thing?
They do have, those are the more expensive brands. They do have some that are made from the actual fruits.
Right.
And that, so those you can take. The thing about is that when you're taking just supplements that are just single nutrients.
Like
if you're just taking a vitamin C or vitamin A or something like that. When you're taking the fruit, it has everything in there. And they all complement each other. So like when you're eating egg, the egg will have the D, right? And you can have some calcium with something else, and the vitamin D will help you to actually absorb calcium. The nutrients work together. You can't just take them in isolation.
We have some headlines, so let's go through them. In your teen years, it says these are the years to focus on getting enough vitamin D and calcium.
And calcium,
Why?
Because what I want is strengthening of the bones. And it's at an age where you are actually depositing a lot of calcium in the bones. And that goes up. We used to think that it stops at age 18, but it goes up to age 30. After 30, then the calcium starts to come
And you get
out.
D and calcium from what?
Well, you get vitamin D from any of your fatty fish like mackerel, sardines, salmon, anything like that.
And
tuna.
the calcium is what? Cheese and...
Yes, you can get some from cheese, but it's usually milk. The bones of those same sardine and mackerel give you a good amount of calcium if you don't like milk. You have soy. Yeah, make sure if you're going to take it from soy, make sure that it is actually fortified with calcium.
Okay. Moving on now, in your 20s and 30s, what are you focusing on?
Well, you're talking about people now who are thinking of having children, perhaps. People who are, I mean, you still need to strengthen the bones. You need to now think about folic acid for, because the woman needs to take that before pregnancy, because by the time she realizes she's pregnant, the brain and spinal cord would already be formed. So folic acid is needed for that development. So by the time she reaches 6 weeks and she's seeing her first positive pregnancy test, so fruits and vegetables again, or make sure that take
That's where you get
prenatals.
folic acid from?
And you get that from or dark green leafy vegetables, so callaloo and pak choy, things like that. And you also get calcium from pak choy as well.
Okay. The 20s and 30s, they said omega-3 fatty acids.
Oh, that would be for heart health, because you find that maybe depending on how you eat, you may prefer to eat more of the animal fats, but if you're choosing omega-3s, you're talking about no fats from plants and from fish and so on.
Would you not do that right through?
You really should.
Yeah.
Okay.
You really should.
Yeah.
Right.
What about are there differences with the men? So we're talking about prenatal and folic and B complex for the women, but what about the men?
Similar, but similar, just the difference really is for women for iron. So it's the same thing. You wouldn't be thinking of folic acid for the men
I was
either,
just going to say. Men take folic?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So where we reach? 40s, 50s, 60s? Here I am.
Well, you're thinking now more towards B12. You find that over time it's harder to actually absorb vitamin B12. And if you are a vegetarian and you have not been eating any meat, like those strict vegetarians, that supply or that storage, because you can, although it's a water-soluble vitamin, you can actually store it for about 12 years. So if you have been a vegan for a number of years, then you may have a depletion in vitamin B12. So after age 50 or so on, you really need to look at, B12.
Vitamin B12, a shot is also an option,
yes,
correct?
Right.
Okay.
So you can actually check what it is your storage is when you go to the doctor, and they will recommend what you need.
Okay.
70s and up.
Yeah, B12 again.
Gosh,
you find that it's much harder to absorb. So B12, yeah.
This says at 40s, 50s, and 60s, vitamin D becomes even more important.
After age 30, the calcium from the bone starts to deplete. So the first 30 years of your life, you're really trying to make sure that you have this storage so that you have strong bones. But after that, no, it starts to slowly deplete. And then after 40, 50, then it's a bit faster. So having a vitamin D with calcium, very good to make sure that you can absorb as much as possible, because you want stronger bones as you get older.
Okay.
When we're lucky being black, because our bones are actually thicker than other races. So we are lucky, yes.
That's interesting.
So I guess after 70, you just go find a seat and go sit down.
No,
Well,
exercise is good because you see, when you exercise, you actually help to keep more calcium in the bones.
I'm just teasing. Yeah. I'm just teasing.
But that's an important fact.
Yes,
Yeah.
and it's weight-bearing exercises. So like walking and running, very good.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, gotcha. And this says regardless of your age or stage, remember that more isn't better when it comes to vitamins and minerals. Taking too much of any vitamin can be toxic.
Yes, which is what happened in that case.
So do not exceed what is on the bottle label, or don't eat too much of.
Don't take mega. No, you don't have to worry about food so much. You know. But it's when you're taking it in tablet form. If you're seeing it saying mega doses and so on, you can just avoid those.
Yeah, but Dr. Chris, it seems like every now and again a study will come out. I remember I used to take a vitamin C tablet every single day.
Oh.
And then I remember working with Simon once. There's a study that came out and said it really don't stop you from getting the flu, or it don't stop. And I stopped, and I still haven't had the flu.
Okay, so it can slow down the process, but you may still end up with the flu.
Also, it depends on your immune system and your age, because some people have stronger systems, so it will help.
Yeah. So these things that we just spoke about, should we be taking them like every day, every other day, every week? What we do? You
can have a daily supplement if you need it. I think you should really need it first. That's the thing.
The lifestyle.
Have a look at what it is that you do. Are you eating a lot of fatty foods? What it is that you're doing? How do you feel? And then based on that, you can actually decide. Because since it's over the counter, you can actually make a decision.
And I think you said it right up at the top about the food.
If you're an athlete, no.
Can we just don't take none at all, but ensure that we eat what gives us these?
Right, and that's how we do it.
So let me ask another question. The spirulinas and the moringas and so on, what about those?
You have to make sure that if you're on any medication, make sure that they don't interact. So speak to a pharmacist, make your doctor know what else you're taking. You can take those things, for whatever, as long as
natural.
It's not. Yes. I mean, but not because something is natural mean that it's good, because cocaine is also natural.
Well, cocaine. No, that's not necessarily so.
Okay.
The plant that it comes from is natural, but
the plant that the drug is manufactured.
The process, they process it to get to that, but I think it comes from the opium plant.
But it's coming from a natural extract.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
It comes
so so you have to make sure that you do the research if you're going to take those things.
Yeah, man.
And if someone comes to me and they want to take those things, I have to see how it fits into the medication and all of that. So so you have to know what it is.
I think it's pretty safe to say cocaine is never okay.
Never okay.
Doesn't matter what else you're taking.
Unless it's your Spirulina, I'm saying, and I drink moringa tea.
Okay.
But I still use sugar for some strange, stupid reason.
As long as it's not too much.
It's not too much.
Moderation.
And the people here going like a for them sugar, because they hardly put any in their tea. I'm going like I want to buy it. Thank you so much.
Yes, no problem.
All right, registered dietitian and nutritionist, Dr. Christine Frey Aiken. So, when we come back now, Sema?